قال مالك في 3 ركعات إقامة لمقامة لنا تعالى تيسر من القرآن لا يقبل التكرار إنما أوجد إدلالا لأنهما تتشاكلان من كل وجه أما الأخريان فتفارقان في حق سقوط السفر وصفة القراءة بقدرها فلا تلزم
Shafiq, okay, stop there. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. We're going to start a very interesting discussion now, which we did touch on before. And the discussion is Faslun fil Qira'ati, the chapter with regards to Qira'at in Salah. Just put it on mute quickly. So we know from amongst the different components of Salah, you get Qiyam, you get Qira'at, you get Ruku, you get Sujood, etc., etc. We did discuss a little bit of this before, that it is necessary, it is farz, but here there'll be more details. So what we discussed so far, that one is the farz Qira'at, just to read at least one complete ayat, because if you read lesser in the ayat, then it is not Qira'at. So to read one long ayat or 3 short ayats, right? That is the farz Qira'at. Then you get the wajib Qira'at, means to read Surah Fatiha and what Surah Fatiha you read, as I said, sorry, just go one step back. The farz Qira'at is at least to read one ayat, because Allah says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Read what is easy. So at least one ayat, there's a farz Qira'at. Then you get the wajib Qira'at, which is Surah Fatiha. And what Surah Fatiha, you must read one long ayat that is equal to 3 short ayats or 3 short ayats. That is the wajib Qira'at, right? And then we discuss all the sunnah Qira'at. So there's 3 types of Qira'at. There's 3 types. The first Qira'at, at least one ayat, because Allah says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. And when you read a first Qira'at, your first is done, but there's a serious deficiency, right? And then for the wajib to be done, you must read Surah Fatiha. And with Surah Fatiha, 3 of the shortest ayats, one long ayat equal to 3 of the shortest ayats. It's a wajib Qira'at. And the sunnah Qira'at, we've done that. What's it? Tiwali Mufassal, Awsati Mufassal, and Qisari Mufassal. So now the discussion we're going to do here, we're not going to discuss those details about what is the farz Qira'at, that's at least one ayat, and the wajib ayat of Qira'at of Surah Fatiha. And we're going to discuss, here we're going to discuss basically in how many rakats of your salah do you have to make Qira'at. Are you with me? So I repeat again, that discussion with regards to exactly what you have to read, like what is the farz Qira'at, which is at least one ayat, or there's a farz Qira'at, and the wajib Qira'at is Surah Fatiha with 3 short ayats or one long ayat equal to 3 short, that's the wajib Qira'at. That we're not discussing. We're going to discuss now, the main thing we're going to discuss is like in which rakats of your salah. And this here obviously referred to the imam, what he must read. Because if you are the muqtadi, you don't have to read, because we discussed this. Man kana lahu imamun fa qira'atul imami qira'atun lahu. If you're reading salah alone, you as a man, you're reading your farz namaz alone, or you're reading your sunnahs alone, or a woman even, this is applicable to her. Obviously, if she's reading in Jamaat behind the Imam, then she won't make any Qira'at at all. We discussed that. So even is right, if a woman is reading her Farz namaz at home, and if a woman is reading a Sunnat namaz at home, whatever, so which Rakats must she make Qira'at in, and which Rakats she don't have to make Qira'at in? That is the discussion. It's not about how much Qira'at you must make, but rather that we discussed, and I explained again in detail now in the beginning of the lesson, it relates to which rakat you must make Qira'at in, which rakat you've got the choice to make Qira'at in, and which rakat you don't have to, etc. So Bismillah. Wal qira'atu fil fardi wajibatun fi rak'atayn. So it's saying here, Qira'at in a farz namaz is necessary in 2 rakats. Now here when they say wajibatun, they're not making reference to what I told you earlier, about farz Qira'at and wajib Qira'at and sunnat Qira'at. Leave that aside now. They're just saying that in your farz namaz, you have to make Qira'at in the first 2 rakats. In other words, the second two rakats, you don't have to make kirat. So in your first two rakats, you get a farz kirat, you get a wajib kirat, and you get a sunnat kirat. Are you with me? You understood the difference. I hope you understood the difference, what I'm talking about. That yeah, all I'm saying, so wajib is not in the technical meaning here. All I'm saying is that in your farz namaz, whatever farz, you're reading Zohr namaz. Okay, Asr namaz is only two rakats, so you're reading both. You're reading Zohr namaz, you're reading Asr namaz, you're reading Maghrib namaz, you're reading Isha namaz. So you have to do kirat in the first two, and that kirat also can be broken down into the first kirat, the wajib kirat, and the sunnah kirat, right? So al-qiratu fil fardi wajibatun fi rak'ataini. So kirat in the farz, it is necessary in the first two rakats, right? Right. وقال الشافعي في الركعات كلها لقوله عليه السلام لا صلاة إلا بقراءة. So what this is saying here is that if you're reading four rakats Zohr namaz, the second two rakats you don't have to make kirat. You can make kirat, it's good to make kirat, but if you don't make kirat, I tell you this refers to a fard namaz, whether you're the imam, whether you are a woman reading a fard namaz at home, whether you are a man reading a fard namaz, you don't have to make kirat in the
not 1 o'clock.
third.
I'm office hours.
You don't have to make kirat in the third and fourth rakat, right? Imam Shafi says no. Even in your first salat, you have to make kirat in all four rakats. Says it. وقال الشافعي في الركعات كلها. And what is his proof? His proof is لقوله عليه السلام, the statement of the Nabi لا صلاة إلا بقراءة. He said, look, the Nabi said the salah is not done except with qira'at, right? وكل ركعة صلاة. And every rakat on its own is a salah. That means every rakat necessarily has to have qiraat. Are you with me? So that was Imam Shafi's reasoning. وقال مالك في ثلاث ركعات إقامة للأكثر مقام الكل تيسيرا. There's another principle that you know we've discussed it many times. This للأكثر حكم الكل. For the majority, you will give the ruling of all. So, for example, like I just explained this to you, in this madrasa, for example, if most of the students, 51 or 52% of the students come from Zimbabwe, we say all the students in the madrasa come from Zimbabwe. If in this madrasa, most of the students, 51, 52 of them are stupid, we say all the students in the madrasa are stupid. So the moment something is the majority, that name will be applicable to all. So Imam Malik says, look here, in a 4 rakat salah, 3 rakats is a majority. So if you made a kirat in 3 rakats, so it's though you made in the whole salah. So then fine, so you made in the whole salah, no problem. And why did he apply this? Taysiran, see. وقال مالك, Imam Malik said, في 3 ركعات. He will make kirat in 3 rakats. Why? إقامة, to establish الأكثر, establishing most maqam al-kul in the place of all. So when the majority of something there, we can say it is in all. Taysiran, to make it easy. Right. Now, again, coming back to our opinion, we said in a farz namaz, we're still speaking about the farz namaz, not even a wajib namaz, only a farz namaz. Because remember, we done Kitaabul witr. In a wajib namaz, you must make kirat in all 3 rakats necessarily. To such an extent, if you left out anything in the 3rd rakat, you left out your surah Fatiha, you left out your, you'll have to make, if you left it out, you have to make sajda sahu, right? And if you that's not even done, right? We say, وَلَنَا قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. See, why you don't have to read in the last 2 rakats, you must follow nicely. He said, Allah Ta'ala says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Read what is easy from the Quran. وَالْأَمْرُ بِالْفِئْرِ لَا يَقْتَرِ تَقْرَارِ. Now we're shifting again away from here. We're going to go to your usul. MashaAllah, your usul al-shashi we're doing. When I tell you, if you are sitting here, I say, Rashid, sit. Then you will sit. You don't have to go up and down and sit all the time. You say, okay, now you stand up again, you sit again. You start to sit, so I must go up and down, I must sit, I must go up and down. You must just do it one time. So when you are given, if I say stop, you stop one time, finish. So when وَالْأَمْرُ لَا يَقْتَدِي التَّقْرَارَ, a command does not demand repetition. You read one time, it's finished. Let me say, Allah Ta'ala says, look here, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Read what is easy from the Quran. So that it means you must only read one time. You don't have to read in every rakat. Right? I know where your mind is going. You're going to ask me, okay, but how come you say must read one time? That means you're only supposed to read one rakat. Why are you reading? Why are you supposed to read second rakat? We're coming to that. So when Allah Ta'ala says read whatever, Al-Amru la yaqtari taqrar. I command does not demand repetition. I say, give me 10 rand. You give me 10 rand. You don't have to get every time you go to another 10, you must give me another 10 rand, another 10 rand, another 10 rand. You'll be bankrupt soon. So same is saying, ولنا قوله تعالى فاقرأوا ما تيسر من القرآن والأمر بالفعل لا يقتضي التكرار. A command with action does not لا يقتضي التكرار. It does not demand it must be repeated, right? So now, next thing comes to your mind, okay, so then why we said in the second rakat you must also recite Surah Fatiha and you must also recite this surah? Here's the answer. وَإِنَّمَا أَوْجَبْنَا فِي الثَّانِيَةِ استدلالا بالأولى لأنهما تتشاكلان من كل وجه فأما الأخريان تفارقانهما في حق السكوت بالسفر وصفة القراءة وقدرها فلا تلحقان بهما. What is saying here, look here. If you look at the second rakat, it is very much similar to the first rakat. Why is it similar to the first rakat? See, if you are traveling, you still have to make 2 rakats. You don't drop off 3 rakats. So the second rakat, doesn't drop off like the first rakat in Safar, right? That's one thing. Second thing, في حق السكوت وصفة القراءة. And if you look at the first rakat, you have to recite loud your qiraat. You don't recite your qiraat softly, right? وقدرهما. In the first rakat, you have to recite Surah Fatiha. You have to recite the surah. So the first rakat, the second rakat resembles the first rakat in several aspects. So because it is a separate salah and it resembles the first rakat, it will have the same hukam of the first rakat. That's what he's saying there. So I was telling you the first thing, the second 2 rakats, it differs from the first 2 rakats in the sense that it drops off at the time of safar. So the show is not the same. Second difference, in the night time, the night salahs like Isha and that, the second 2 rakats, you read it soft. The first 2 rakats, you read it loud, right? That you're saying, wasifatul qiraat. That's different. Third thing here is this here. The second 2 rakats, you only recite Surah Fatiha. You don't recite the surah. So that's what we're saying there is that the second 2 rakats, they are very different to the first 2 rakats. So because the first rakat, or rather the second rakat, very much resembles the rakat. So like how it is necessary to do the qiraat there, instead you to do the second. But the second 2 rakats, they differ in three aspects. They drop off in safar. In the night time, you recite your 2 rakats, second rakat softly. وقدرها. In the second 2 rakats, you only recite Surah Fatiha, you don't recite the Surah, even according to Imam Abu Shafi, etc. So they are different, so you cannot compare them. So now follow. We say, وَإِنَّمَا أَوْجَبْنَا فِي الثَّانِيَةِ. The only reason why we'll say that you have to make qiraat in the second rakat is necessary, it's compulsory, and it's not compulsory in the third and fourth, right? Istidlalan bil ula, because we say the second rakat, it resembles the first rakat in every respect. So like how the first rakat is, must be the second rakat the same. لأنهما تتشاكلان تفاعل تفاعلان, because they two تتشاكلان, they are very similar من كل وجه in every way. فأما الأخريان, but if you say look at the second 2 rakats, they are very different, right? فتفارقانهما, they are different for them في حق السكوت, with regards to, I told you في السفر that the 2 rakats drop off in safar. وصفة القراءة, the second 2 rakats qiraat is soft at night time. وقدرها, And also its amount in the sense that you only have to read Surah Fatiha, you don't have to read Surah فَلَا تَلْحَقَانِ بِهِمَا, so they will not be joined with the first one here at the front. So that we gave you the reason. Then we tell you وَالصَّلَاةُ فِيهِمَا فيما روي مذكور صريحا فتصرف إلى الكاملة وهي ركعتان عرفا وهي ركعتان عرفا كمن حلف لا يصلي صلاة بخلاف إذا حلف لا يصلي. Okay. In the next ibarat, we're explaining the proof of Imam Shafi. I need you to go back there. See, there Imam Shafi said, وقال الشافعي في ركعتين في الركعات كلها بقول السلام لا صلاة إلا بقراءة, right? وكل قراءة صلاة. The hadith of Nabi Sallam said there is no salah except with qiraat. There's no salah except with qiraat. So he took the meaning every single rakat must have qiraat. Whether you're reading farz or you're reading sunnat, every single rakat must have qiraat. So we, before I look at it I show you the text. We say no. When Nabi Sallam said la salata illa biqiraat, means that not every single qiraat, not every single rakat must have qiraat, but every salat as a whole must have qiraat. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're reading 4 rakats farz namaz, you made qiraat in the first rakat, and the second rakat, then that salat has got qiraat. You understand what I'm saying? So when we say la salata, so we interpret in the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu that has been narrated by Imam Shafi. We say la salata illa bi qira'atin. It means yani that means la, not la rak'ata illa bi qira'atin, but la salatan kamilatan illa yakunu fiha shay'un min al-qira'ati. That's what I'm saying. And by saying that qiraat is not necessary in the second 2 rakats, you're not going against this hadith because you have got qiraat in that salat. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying there. See, what's salatu and the what's salat, fima ruya, which is narrated, mazkuratun sarihan. What mazkuratun or mazkuratun? It is mentioned clearly, right? Salat is mentioned clearly. فَتَصْرِفُ إِلَى الْكَامِلِ. So it means la. So it means, I told you, it will mean يعني لا صلاة كاملة إلا بقرين. Not every complete salah, it must have qiraat in it, right? The simple, right? And what is a complete salah? وَهِيَ رَكْعَتَانِ عُرْفًا. And we know a complete salah is at least 2 rakats, right? So the minimum of a complete salah is 2 rakats, because you can't make 1 rakat. We said, Nabi Sallam said, we got the hadith, the Hanif said, نَهَا عَنِ الْبُطَيْرَةِ, that Nabi Sallam prohibits from making 2 rakats. So every 2 rakats or more, it must have qiraat, and we got our qiraat in that. So that proof doesn't sit well against us, right? So وَهِيَ رَكْعَتَانِ عُرْفًا. And we say, like, look here, what's our proof to say that a complete salah is 2 rakats? That 1 rakat is not a complete salah? كَمَنْ حَلَفَ لَا يُصَلِّي صَلَاةً. If a person says, Wallahi, I'll never read namaz again. I will never read namaz again in this madrasa. And he came and he read 1 rakat. Will you say he's guilty? You will say he's not guilty, because 1 rakat is not a salah. 1 rakat is not a salah. So this shows you that 1 rakat is not a salah on its own. So 1 rakat is not a salah on. So it can't. So the hadith of Imam Shafi can't mean that every 1 rakat must have. But if a person says, look here, I will not pray at all. I will not read salah. Wallahi, I will never read salah in this madrasa. So a person came in and did 1 rakat. You say no, it's not Hanish, because he never read a complete salah, because 1 rakat is not salah. But if he say, Wallah, I will never pray. He never said, I will never pray a complete salah. He said, I will never pray. But he came here and he read 1 rakat and then he broke his salah. When he says guilty, Hanish, yes, you say, because he never said, I will not read a complete salah. He just said, I'll never pray. Even though that was an incomplete prayer, but it was a prayer. So we're showing you here that salat, it means a complete salat. So in other words, every complete salat, it must have a qiraat. Not every rakat must have a qiraat. You understood that? Right. Read the next one. I hope that's clear.
تداوي عن أبي حنيفة شمول مسعود وعائشة.
Right. So look here. So now we're reading a farz namaz. Many people don't know this masla. وهو مخير في الأخرين. Mukhayyara, he's been given a choice. Khayyara, Mukhayyir, the one who's given a choice. Mukhayyarun, the one who's given a choice. So you will be given a choice in the second two rakats. You don't have to read. Now, so you, even if you come up, a person reading first namaz, whether it is an imam, whether it is a woman reading at home, or whether it is you, a man reading first namaz, insha as-sakata, you can just stand for the duration of 3 tasbeehs. You recite nothing. وإن شاء قرأ, or if you want to recite Surah Fatiha, you can recite. وإن شاء سبح, if you wish, you can even recite Tasbih, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Sometimes you write late, maybe the time is going out, you fear, or something is happening. Obviously, it's more virtuous to recite the Surah Fatiha, but sometimes time is going out. You need to travel. Ladies, the food is on the stove, whatever. If somebody is calling out, somebody needs your help. So then you can make amal upon this, inshallah. We just pause for the 3 tasbeehs. So as a rule, so these laws are not for you to practice daily on it. Every day, show, I don't have to recite anything. I will just remain silent, whatever. No. This is for the time of necessity. Food is going to burn. Husband is coming home. Or you need to travel or something, right? So, insha sabbaha, if you wish, you can make tasbih. Kaza, ruya, like this. It has been narrated. An Abi Hanifata, from Imam Abu Hanifa. وهو المعثور, and this is also narrated an Ali from Ali, from Ibn Mas'ud, and Ibn Mas'ud and Aisha. Remember Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And remember I told you, Sahib HIDAAYAH, he always brings you a logical proof and he brings you a textual proof. So this whole proof here about the logical, that the 2 rakats, that is not similar to the other 2 rakats, this was his own logical proof. But at the end of the day, if that don't make sense for you, here we've got the textual proof of Hazrat Aisha was a faqiha. Hazrat Ali was amongst the faqihs of the ummah. I was telling you earlier this morning, Hazrat Ali was from the jurists of the Sahaba Ikram. Hazrat Ibn Mas'ud was the jurist. So even if you put that whole logical proof aside, but you got the textual evidence which is good enough to show that is not necessary. So I'll just repeat that whole thing there again. So what we're saying is, Allah Ta'ala says, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. You only have to read as the Amr. So the Amr is one time. So that means you don't have to duplicate the Quran, you don't have to duplicate and read every rakat, right? Because Al-Amr la yaqtadi taqrar, Amr does not demand that you repeat. But then the question comes about, so why do you read the second rakat? The answer is quite simply, the reason why I have to read the second rakat is because the second rakat is a duplicate of the first rakat in every aspect. So whatever is in there, it will be there. Then why you don't read the third rakat, the fourth rakat? The third rakat, the fourth rakat is not a duplicate of the first rakat and the second rakat. It differs in the sense that the qiraat is soft. It differs in the sense that it drops off. It differs in the sense that you don't receive Surah Fatiha. So that same Amr will not extend to there. This is similar, like, if you say, I tell you that, look here, you Amr only demands you must do something one time. So you say, okay, but if Allah Ta'ala say you must read Zohar namaz, why you must read Zohar namaz every time, every day? You say, look, the Amr to read Zohar is one. But the sabab that causes, that is, the zawal, it appears every day. So every day that zawal appears, the amr comes back again. So same thing we can say here, that the amr is to read once. So when the sabab of wujub comes again, you do it again. So in the first rakat, the sabab of wujub was there, so you read it. In the second rakat, the sabab of wujub is there, so you read it again. But in the third rakat and the fourth rakat, the sabab of wujub is not there, because the third rakat and the fourth rakat are different. That's what I'm saying. So I was telling you, so this year at the time of need, you can make amal upon this. You're reading Faraz Namaz, you rush. But but the more virtuous thing is that you must recite. You recite your Fatiha. There's more reward, obviously, because we know al-mu'awnatu ala qadr al-mashakka, that reward is in relation to the amount of effort you make. لأنه عليه السلام داوم على تلك, because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite it regularly. ولهذا لا يجب السهو بتركها في ظاهر روايته. But if you leave it out, it is not, there's no such as so, because it's not wajib. If it was wajib and you left it out, so in the Faraz namaz, when you left out Surah Fatiha, you left it out, you made it tasbih or remain silent, there is no such as so, because it is not wajib. The time is up, I see. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. We'll just finish that ibadah tomorrow, inshallah. Then we'll break, inshallah.